I think one of the biggest complaints that I always hear from fellow players of Stardew Valley is how frustrating the fishing minigame is, and very uncomfortably difficult it can be, making it a harder aspect to complete within a completionist run. Now, this is why I've created this video, to walk you through step by step everything that I know about fishing in Stardew Valley to try to make it a much easier and more fun experience for you. Maybe it won't help you in the grand scheme of things, but maybe it will. If you take away something from this video, hopefully it'll make your life a lot easier and a lot happier, so that you'll be able to enjoy the fishing minigame within Stardew Valley. And maybe, like the Walrus, you'll be able to catch lots of shiny treasures, as well as ridiculous smallmouth bass. For the basics of the fishing minigame, you will either need to left click on your PC, X on the Xbox controller, the square on the PlayStation controller, or Y on the Switch. When you've caught yourself a fish and hooked it on with a hit, you need to try to keep that fish within the green bar until the progress bar on the right hand side of your fishing minibar has completely filled. To do this, keep pressing the tool button to raise the bobber within its bar. But once caught, you'll be displayed the length of the fish and you'll have achieved the fishing catch, which is fantastic. When you are fishing, however, there are a couple of extra things that you might notice. You could catch a piece of trash, or you may also find a treasure chest. Now these come in two different varieties, the red treasure chest, which is the basic treasure chest, and you need to catch it by hovering over it in the same way you would the fish, but don't let the fish go. If the fish disappears, you lose both the chest and your fishy prize, which is a terrible shame. Now I'm going to try casting once more, and hopefully we'll get ourselves something a little bit better than a red chest. Lo and behold, here's a gold chest. Now these have a lot more of a lovely reward, and I got a perfect catch. Getting a perfect catch increases the value of the item that you've just caught by 1, taking the goldfish to an iridium fish in this particular example, as well as being able to open up our lovely gold chest. When exploring in Stardew Valley, you may see bubbles in the water like this. Bubbles grant 2 benefits. Fish bite up to 4 times faster, which is fantastic, and when determining the type of fish that is hooked, the effective distance from land is increased, which means that trash is less likely to be caught and the harder to catch fish are more likely. Sometimes even legendary fish can be found closer to the shore when bubbles are present, so this is pretty damn good, but it has no effect on fish size, quality, or on the likelihood of treasure chests appearing. Now, no more than 1 bubble spot can appear within per area, so for example within Pelican Town or Cindersap Forest at any one time, but multiple can appear within the world map, all at the same time. A fishing frenzy is one of the other special ways that you can encounter fish, not just the small localized bubbles. They are events that can randomly happen during the day, either at the beach, Cindersap Forest, Pelican Town, or in the mountains, and they can only appear once the player has met one of 2 requirements. They are that you have played for at least 4 days and caught 3 fish, or you've played for at least 15 days. Once occurring, you can see these special pop-ups that will appear in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, informing you that a fishing frenzy and the type of fish that has been present. This event cuts the bite time in half, but it means that only that specific type of fish can be caught in the area. They'll last for 90 minutes in-game. Once that 90 minutes has elapsed, there is a chance for it to keep going, but it does incrementally get larger and larger to cancel out the event itself. Each of the different rods within Stardew Valley has a series of different abilities. The training rod and bamboo pole are your basic starting point. They have no special features really. The fiberglass rod allows you to add bait. The iridium rod allows you to add bait as well as a tackle, and the advanced iridium rod allows you to add bait and 2 tackles, and those tackles stack. Those effects can become significantly better when you have 2 of the same tackle. Aid us in our fishing journey, there are a series of additional baits that can be added to rods. Now you can only add them to the fiberglass, iridium, or the advanced iridium rods. They range from basic bait, which increases the speed at which a fish will bite, through to some more specialist baits such as the challenge bait, which means you'll get up to 3 of each fish. Finally, for baits, there's also a new way of getting extra new baits. By utilizing one fish of a particular sort, you can get some tailored bait that will allow you to catch more of that specific fish, particularly useful during those random seasonal quests that require you to catch a particular fish. As mentioned earlier, there are a series of different tackles that can be added to your rod. Now these can only be added to the iridium or the advanced iridium rod, and they range from spinners to trap bobbers, cork bobbers, which is one of my personal favorites, increasing the size of your fishing bar quite dramatically, barbed hooks making it harder for the fish to escape, all the way through to the sonar bobber, and of course, Mayor Lewis's lucky purple shorts. They don't actually give you any benefit, they just look funny. When actively utilizing the different baits, the wild bait will allow you to catch 2 of the same fish of the same size. Not the most dangerously weird thing, but it does mean that you duplicate the fish that you catch, as can be seen here by me catching 2 17-inch flounders. Next up, I'm going to try using the magic bait. This one allows us to catch fish outside of the normal season, time, and even weather. So, if I fling out my rod, we'll catch ourselves, well, we've caught ourselves a halibut on the line. Whether we'll catch it, well, that's a very different question. Looks like I'm managing it so far, though. So, we've grabbed ourselves a halibut outside of the normal seasonal requirements. And finally, the challenge bait. Now, this one is a tricky one to utilize against certain fish. When thrown out, you'll get 3 pips on the side of the bar. Each time that that bar goes off of the fish, you lose one of the fish that you are going to catch, so you can get a maximum of 3 for each cast. One of the nice customizable features of the fishing rods is the bobber machine located in Willie's shop. Each of these different bobber styles can be unlocked for every 2 fish that one catches, so after you've managed to catch all the fish in the game, you'll get this wide plethora. And of course I'm utilizing the beautiful Star Drop bobber, although I do tend to prefer to use Mayor Lewis's shorts. Let's see if I can quickly catch all 3 of these darn fish. Perfect catch. Lovely stuff. Not only can you fish in the lava, we can also demonstrate something here. This is me with a mastery of 10, no food, no other benefits. You saw that that bar was quite small. Now I'm going to add 2 of the cork bobbers. Watch what happens. An increase of size is quite dramatic. It's an enormous increase. This combined with food can make your fishing life a heck of a lot easier, but remember it will require you to have the advanced iridium rod. Whilst in the volcano, we can add enchantments. Now of course there are 4 that can be applied to the fishing rods. The auto hook allowing you to automatically catch whatever you've caught so you don't have to push the action button again. The efficient, so no energy drain, which is really good. Master, meaning that you get an extra fishing level, so you count as being level 11 instead of 10. And preserving, giving you a 50% chance that bait or tackle aren't consumed on use. My personal preference is the master or the auto hook. Mostly because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to press another button. One of the more unusual things that you can unlock through PAM is the Fishing Information Broadcasting Service. This program and channel is phenomenally useful as it gives you a full breakdown of what fish are available during the current season, when, where, and what weather effects need to be in place to catch them. Different foods can give you different buffs ready for fishing. Trout soup, as well as the chowder, will give you +1 fishing. Shrimp cocktail and the fish taco, as well as escargot, will give you +2 fishing. Dish of the sea and the fish stew will give you +3 fishing. Lobster biscuit will give you +3 and energy, and seafoam will give you +4 fishing, which is a fantastic boost for all fishing needs. Another feature of the fishing mechanic is the crab pot. These are craftable after level 3 in fishing or can be purchased from Willy for 1,500 G. Once loaded with bait, they'll give you a variety of different creatures based upon whether they are an inland stream or pond or from the sea itself. Both of these will be fantastically useful. When it comes to displaying your fish, there are a number of different options available to you, ranging from the small fish tank and the modern fish tank at only 1 single fish capacity, all the way to the massive aquatic sanctuary. Each of these has a varying different cost, and not always do you have to pay gold. Sometimes you have to pay key gems, and at others, even more unusual items, such as for the jungle fish tank. Now each of these has a different allotted amount of different bottom creatures and swimming creatures, as well as decorations that can be imparted inside the fish tank. Of course, you can see here the different sizes of each of these enormous tanks, especially the aquatic sanctuary, which is the largest and probably my most favourite. Of course, you can see these two things that I've added onto the screen, the full breakdown a little bit clearer here. So if you want to keep an eye on that, that gives you a full breakdown of how much you can actually fit into each of the tanks. When it comes to decorating them, there's a series of items that are considered bottom floor decorations, ranging from the anchor, ancient sword, clay, coral, which is an interesting unique one because it has multiple different forms that it can take when placed. The clay makes a beautiful little sandcastle. Hardwood can be deposited as well. If you want to make a trash one, you can put Joja Cola, Mayor Lewis's lucky purple shorts, and Nautilus shells. You can put pineapples. You can pull a full SpongeBob and put a pineapple in. The rainbow shell. Now the seaweed's one of my personal favourites because it gives you nice little fronds. Stones and treasure chests, not quite as exciting. Well, the treasure chest is really, but hey, what can I say on that sort of side? Then you've got the different variety of extra things that you can input. Of course, you've got your bottom crawling fish, and then you've got your swimming fish. Your bottom crawlers range from the blobfish, crab, crayfish, flounder, the frog. So if you want to have a cute little aquarium tank of just frogs and you don't want to get married to Sebastian, that's an option. Now these creatures will typically move along the bottom in a cute little way, like you can see that little flounder crawling along. Now the lobster's hiding in Mayor Lewis's shorts, which, you know, that's you do you, champ. The frog does make a cute little animation, I quite like it. And so does the snail and the stonefish. The stationary ones are of course the clam, cockle, mussel, periwinkle, oyster, sea cucumber, sea urchin and sea cucumber. Now I've got a special treat for our lovely sea urchin because, like many of the pets in the game, they can also wear hats. So if I quickly put in this sea cucumber over here, we'll watch as I put on the lucky leprechaun hat on my little sea urchin. Quite a cute little feature if you ask me. Then we finally got our swimming creatures. Now this tank can actually take up 6 swimming creatures, and I'm just using these shrimp because they are in addition to the normally catchable fish because they are a crab pot item. Let's move back into the house for a second and we can see the different varieties of coral that can be placed within the tanks, and a number of different fish that have unique special swimming animations. They are the lava eels and eels. They are also the squids and midnight squids, and finally the stingrays, giving you very unique swimming animations, making them a little bit more cute. I'm going to populate this tank here with a number of extra frogs because I like showing off my little froggy collection, especially since I've got an iridescent one nearby that sandcastle, just like my outfit. Glorious. Once we've caught the fish, we can do a number of different things with them. We can sell them, we can smoke them. One of the things that I like to do is put them into fish ponds. Now, this does take up a lot of space if you have a fish pond for every single one, but each different type of fish will generate a different end resource product, which is fantastic. The legendary fish will provide you a lot of roe, which can be very useful. We can then either display the fish or we can smoke them. The fish smoker recipe costs 10,000 G from Willy, and it requires a single piece of hardwood, a sea jelly, a river jelly and a cave jelly to make, so they're not the easiest things to build. However, once we've built them for the price of a single piece of coal and any fish, we can double the value of the fish when we go to sell it. If you've got the time and you've got the coal lying around, it's always a good way to make yourself a lot more extra cash. There is a slightly more unusual manner to fish, and that is using one of the pans. By giving it the fish it enchant, it has a 10% chance of catching a fish when you pan on one of those golden specks. Hopefully you've been able to find use in this fishing video. If you have, please do leave a comment below, why not like, share and subscribe, and let me know if there are more things about Stardew Valley you want me to delve into to try and do a much more in-depth breakdown of how it all works.